Greetings, greetings, family. We are live. Sister Shanice in the house. Welcome, welcome for another Wisdom Wednesday. We are absolutely delighted, absolutely honored to have you in the house. Be prepared for another really exciting, fantastic, blacktastic show. Let everyone know that we are indeed live. Please do copy the link and share it to one and all. We want everybody to be part of today's event because we have, a great teacher in the house who's going to be coming to you live and direct. And so, family, as always, there is just so much happening each and every day, and always so much for us to talk about. And so, family, we want to make sure that you are party to the discussion as well. So please do put your comments in the chat so that we can hear from you as well. Okay, normally I do a long introduction, don't I? But I'm not going to do much of a long introduction today because, as I said, we've got our guest waiting in the wings. But what I do want to remind you of, family, is that we have a live concert and educational event that's going to be happening on Saturday, the 28th of October, 2023. We have a great lineup of artists and international speakers. Why? Because we are going to be raising some funds for the DRC, Congo, and Haiti. Yeah, we're working with organizations on the ground in the Congo, organizations on the ground in the DRC, in Haiti. And, we want to be a moral support, a financial support. We want to be there to extend a hand of friendship to our brothers and sisters on the ground over there who are struggling. And by doing the event, we're also raising awareness of what's happening in those countries in the hope that, we will see change, and we will be the driving forces for change for our people in the Congo. So please do make sure that you join us on Saturday, the 28th of October. We've got artists like General Saint, Bobo Blackstar, Nzonga. We've got speakers like Brother Kapile, who you're going to be hearing from later today. We've got Sister Rukia from the DRC Congo. We've got Dr. Abu from the Big G Galaxy Afui Radio. We've got Lida Bandaka also from Galaxy Afui. We've got Empress Makaba, who's going to be joining us. We've got Brother Leo Mohammed, who's going to be joining us on the day. We've got some of our Greats family who are going to be joining us on that day. Guest speakers, we've got our sister Martha as well, who you haven't met on this platform before, but she is phenomenal, family. We've got Sean Heloui, who's from Haiti, who you have met before. Sister Baina, first time on this platform. She is a queen amongst queens. She really is, and so busy, but we're delighted and honored to have her on the platform as well. We've got Dr. Kenny Bastine as well. You want to hear him, meet him on the show today as well. So let's do all that we can, family, to come together and help Haiti, to come together and support the DRC Congo. We're going to have a bit more of a conversation about both those places and spaces a little later in the show today. So welcome, Sister Shanice in the house. I'm going to be here through to 10 p.m. UK time today. And to those of you who joined me earlier today on my radio show, wow, what a show we had. Want to big up Brother Mama as well. As always, he delivers. As always, he pulls it out the bag. And I've got a question for you, family. I've got a question for you, and I'd like you to put your answers in the chat, okay? What is the question that I've got for you today? Okay, my question is simple, really. It's a question that we all ought to know the answer to, but do we? Do we all know the answer to this question? I'm going to find out. Right, how old are we as Africans? That's my question to you, family. how old are we as Africans? Yeah. How long have we been on this planet for, on this earth for? A question that I said, I think we all ought to have the answers to, but I'm not sure that we all do. We all ought to have the same answers to this question, should we not? Should we not all know how old we are as a people? So that's my question to you that I would like you to answer. So as you come through the door, please do let me know that you're in the house. Drop a message in the chat, say hi, let me know where in the world you're watching from, and also drop a response to the question, how old are we as Africans? How long have we been on this planet for, planet Earth? Yeah, what archaeological evidence is there out there maybe to tell us and to confirm how old we are as a people? Simple question. I think we should all know the answer to that one. But do we? We'll soon find out. Anyway, family, let me go backstage because what I'd like to do is to bring on our first guest. I don't want to take up too much time with the introductions today. I want us to go straight into our event. Okay, so I just want to greet you as you come through the door. I'm going backstage in a moment. So, Sister Afrijamo, we missed you last strong. Don't think I didn't notice that you was missing last strong. Welcome from Ghana. Brother Kwame Oboje, more love, more power, more strength to you, beloved. Brother Jay, welcome. Mundele, Yenge Pimpa Kiambote, beloved, welcome. Our brother from the Congos, the Congo leopard, saluting us today. Now, I know you were involved in my show earlier today, so I don't want you to answer this question. You'll give the game away, all right? But if you weren't listening in to my radio show earlier today, and you think you know the answer to this question, please let me know. Welcome, Kate Safa. Good to have you in the house. Dr. Julianne, great to have you in the house. You say, we Africans are as old as the planet. Really? How old do you think we are? Let me know. How old's the planet then if we're as old as the planet? I'll be really interested to hear your answer to that question. I think we should all know the answer to that question, but I'm not sure that we do. But anyway, you tell me, what are your thoughts? Are we? What age are we? What age are we? Okay, let's admit our first guest for you today, Brother Mitri, who is a teacher among teachers. So just bringing him forward from backstage. And yes, there he is. Welcome, Brother Mitri. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. The one who comes in peace is always welcome. The one who comes to teach is always welcome. And the one who comes to learn is especially always welcome. Positive energy and creation energy to all of you out there. Thank you for inviting me.
Positive energy. Yes, enough creation. Black at you, beloved. Great to have you in the house. Welcome. This is your first time here live on the Sister Shanice Show. We certainly hope that it's not going to be your last. In fact, family, I've been having some really interesting conversations with Brother Mitri backstage, and I'd like him to be a regular guest on the Sister Shanice Show. In fact, I might have to have another night where I run a series with this brother, because he's got some serious stuff that he wants to deliver, family. So I'm going to let him whet your appetite today. And, you're going to let me know, is he heavy or is he lightweight? You're going to make that decision. And hopefully you're going to come back and say, he's heavy. We need to hear more from this brother. So, and then I want you to suggest what nights and what times maybe we need to do another show so we can have a series where we hear from our brother Mitri. So welcome, Brother Mitri. Good to have you on the show. And to those of you, to our family, obviously you've not met him before, but he is, as he says in his title there, a teacher. Born and raised in West Africa, Liberia, migrated to the US, we'll forgive you for that, And the title of the presentation that he's going to be delivering is one that, you know, he was inspired to do back in November 2017. And the title is The Organic African Paradigm. Okay, so he initiated and established this back in 2020, and is part of a series of formal teachings on the perception and brain development of us as Africans globally. So I wonder if you could just tell us, first of all, you know, a bit about the inspiration that you got back in 2017 that led to you developing basically this entire school of thought around the African paradigm.
Thank you, Sister. Positive energy and creation energy to your audience. In 2017, the inspiration for the Organic African Paradigm came when I saw on CNN Black people, African people in Libya being sold for $400 by Arabs. And at that time, I was a practicing Muslim, and it shook my foundation. Like the way I look at the world, it shook me completely. So because it disoriented me, I was kind of lost. I tried to first reach out to everybody to stand out against it. I sent out messages to everybody in the community. I went out in the street holding signs, trying to get people to pay attention to this. I really tried, but everybody just kind of ignored me, and they said it's not important, or it's not, we can't do anything about it. We are powerless to do anything about it. So because of that, I kind of turned to, maybe we call it a higher power, maybe we call it the universe, the creator, whatever you call it, but I turned to something other than myself for help. And as I was turning to other things outside of myself, I had a strange dream in a mall. I was walking in a mall and I saw a tent of light. And in this tent of light, it caught my attention and I walked towards it. And when I opened the door to see who was in it, I saw people, my ancestors. You cannot imagine how many. I saw the ones that I for sure knew. I saw John Henry Clark, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, all these other people, women, men I never knew, freedom fighters of all kinds. But within the back of them, there were ancestors who were higher. These ancestors were like much, much higher, and they were in this tent. And I sat down in the tent to get it, you know, I said, teach me everything. All of you are here. Give me all your knowledge right now. I'm ready. And as I sat down to get the knowledge, a white woman opened the tent door and she told me, you have just won a Mercedes-Benz. And I didn't play a sweepstake, but she told me, come now and get this Mercedes-Benz. So I followed her. I told the ancestors, wait, keep the knowledge still for now. Let me sign the paperwork and get this Mercedes-Benz, then I'll come back and listen to you guys. So I left the tent, went back to the counter, and the white woman started smiling and grinning. She was very happy that I wasn't in the tent. And I looked at the tent and I saw their faces were very sad. And so something just told me I was doing something wrong. So when I went back in the tent again, she came back the second time and says, your car is ready, come now. So I told them, okay, wait, let me go back in and get this car, this Mercedes-Benz. So I go back to the counter and then I look, I see Denzel Washington in the mall. Out of all people, I see Denzel. So I ran to Denzel Washington and I said, hey, Denzel, you would not believe who's in that tent right now. Malcolm X. You played him in a movie, but he's the real deal. Come and talk to him. So I told Denzel, come with me. And as me and Denzel was walking towards the tent, Denzel stopped. He said he had a mud on his knee. He wanted to go in the bathroom and wash it off. So I said, okay, fine. I let him go in the bathroom. And when he went in the bathroom, I was standing in front of the door, looking at the woman still smiling. So I went back to the tent and I told the ancestor, I sat down and I told Malcolm X, I said, you will be happy to see Denzel Washington. He did a great job portraying your life on TV. And every one of them were just looking at me with this great sadness in their eyes, like I had done something disappointing. And so the white woman came back again, pulled me out of the tent this time and said, "Your car is ready. You need to sign the documents." So I went to her and sat down, stood by her counter, and she's smiling again. Denzel steps out of the bathroom. He's also grinning. And I look at the tent and I see the ancestors are very sad. So I knew I had done something wrong. And then they told me, "Your time is up." So from that point on, I woke up from the dream. And that was the origin of the organic African paradigm, that particular story.
Wow. And, that's a dream that I think most of us wouldn't want to have woken up from too quickly at all. And I think, you quite soon worked out what you'd done wrong. Were you able to get back in the dream and to please your ancestors? Or is this journey now the realization of what the dream was all about and what you should have been doing?
I was able to get back, but after some time, after I made some changes in my life, I'd given up my quest for material wealth and riches, and I'd given up my quest for fame and all those type of things. I was able to reconnect back to that dimension again. And out of that dimension, I was able to extract the blueprint, which is called the organic African paradigm, from them. And so now I bring the blueprint to the African people. I've been teaching ever since 2017, and gradually, but I typically don't put it in the public because I want to preserve this one kind of, so it doesn't kind of get, it's an egg. I don't want the egg to be cracked by outside forces. So I keep it in the, in the quiet.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you're going to crack it a little bit for us today because, we want to get a taste of what it is you have on offer for our community. Because as I said, family, I want you to let me know, is this a school of thought that we need to be delving into a lot more deeply? As our brother said, it's a knowledge that he's got from our ancestors, that our great revolutionary ancestors came to him in the spirit. And as a result of that, this program has been birthed. So without further ado, let me go over to Brother Mitri for him to deliver a presentation to us today. Over to you, my brother.
Okay, I'm going to put up the slideshow.
Fantastic. And remember, family, there's a question I've got for you. How old are we as Africans? How long have we been around for? We all should know the answer to this question, but do we? Put the answer in the chat. Thank you. Okay, my brother, over to you.
Okay, can you see the screen yet or not yet?
Yes, see the screen.
Okay, so if you can see the PowerPoint, the flag you see on there is the vision of Africa. This is what Africa will look like in the future. So you see the pyramids are restored, but these pyramids are black. There's a reason they're black, because they have a symbolism behind it. You see the turquoise ocean in the Sahara Desert, and that was the ocean that was previously in Africa before the Sahara and the Namibian desert dried out. You see the hands unified around the heart of Africa, what we call Nyalu Bali, what the Europeans later on called Lake Victoria. The arms are unified around Nyalu Bali. That is where we came out of the pool of creation. And so organic African paradigm has, in this, it shows you the future of Africa. Now, I'm going to explain the greeting here, the one who comes in peace. If you approach the ancestors, there is a declaration you have to make before you approach the ancestors. Now, if you look at the pyramid walls, you will see the ancestors raise their hand like this. If the pharaoh or anyone wanted to make an offering or approach the ancestors, they have to raise their hand like this. The Arabs took this greeting, and when they pray or they make their salat, they use this greeting to Allah. They do this, Allah, and then that is the greeting they do in their prayer. But that greeting came from Kemet. Originally, it means the one who comes in peace. So it's a declaration of your intention, and then you make another declaration. If you are trying to learn from the ancestors, You say the one who comes to learn, right? You make your second declaration. And then you say the one who comes to teach, which would be the ancestors. You make the third declaration, they are always welcome. And then you establish that relationship between the two parties. So if you cannot make this greeting, the ancestors, even your, what they call your ba or your ka or your chi, that chi will not come forth to you. You have to establish an intention first before they come. So that's why I greet everyone everywhere. Now, this is the greeting we use. The Arabs changed it to Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. We originally used to say the one who comes in peace. In Africa, the word one means the creator, the part of you which has the creator in you. It's called one. And then come in peace is what you are doing there. So organic African paradigm, I will take you into some definitions quickly. Then we will go into these teachings. So what is language? We need to understand language before we go into this. Language is defined as a systematic means of communicating ideas, feelings, thoughts through the use of sign, gestures, symbols, image, sound, and script. So that is language itself. Why did I define the word language? I defined the word because these words are intrinsic to all human beings. The most intrinsic tools that we human beings have is words. That is how we communicate, that is how we express, that is how we do everything through words. So language is our most valuable tool. It does not matter if the language is English or German or Swahili or Yoruba or Amharic, right? Once the language is intrinsic to you, that language is your asset, is your tool. So the English language is a tool for us because me and you, this language has become intrinsic to us. It's how we think our thoughts, it's how we express our emotions, how we manifest in the world through the English language. If we were born in Kenya, we would have Swahili, we would do the same thing in Swahili. If we were born in Yoruba land, we would do the same thing in Yoruba. But English is the tool that we have, which is intrinsic to us. And it is our ability to convey our thoughts, speech, and expression to each other. So Yoruba people, because they were born in there and they were taught that language, it has become intrinsic to them. Amharic people, intrinsic to them. Swahili, intrinsic. San, Mende, Akan, all of that is intrinsic to them. Regardless of what it is, the basic is language. That is your basic tool. Now, because I know I have English embedded in my consciousness, English is my tool, which is intrinsic to me. It doesn't belong to the Europeans anymore. It belongs to me. I use it to think, to express consciousness. So what I design, I use the English language. When I do anything to express myself, I use the English language. So I can ascribe my own meaning to the English language. I can create the English I want to use. That's how come Africans started speaking patois, pidgin, and other stuff, because they took the language and they made it the way they wanted to use it. They didn't let the Europeans dictate how they were going to use the language. So that is the first thing we all need to clarify here. The second thing is a system. What is a system? Now, a system is a structural body meant to unify or establish a whole or a totality of something. An interactive and interdependent blueprint or structure that exists to unify a body. Now, how does the organic African paradigm define system? Organic African paradigm defines system as the finished product of a people. Their total sum of human consciousness produced into their environment through pragmatic thoughts, speech, and actions to accomplish their goals. Their design or formula to achieve their desired results. So that is how organic African paradigm designs. So you see language, I have the power to use language. I don't, it doesn't belong to anyone. I use it because it's intrinsic to me. Now, what is education as well? Education is a system or structure set for perception development, cultivation, or brain development. A system that is established to develop, impart skills and awareness to develop the perception, mind, behavior, and characters of Africans. So when I say education, it doesn't mean what a European would say education. It means something completely different. When I say what is perception, the depth of awareness and interpretation of living organism, a system of sensory abilities of all living organism, external senses, internal senses, intuitive senses, and initiative senses. So that is what perception is. What is an institution? An institution is the established bodies set forth by any people in the world, okay, upon the face of the earth that is devoted to performing functionality in all areas of human organization. So it can be political organization, social organization, intellectual organization, economical organization, or spiritual organization. The institution, according to Organic African Paradigm, is the essence of order in all things. Governance, mastery, cultivated measure, a system which exists intrinsically for the purpose of creating functionality in all African families, individuals, communities, societies, and collective. So now we have definitions. Let's go into Organic African Paradigm. What is the Organic African Paradigm? What does Organic African Paradigm mean? What principles and philosophies is the Organic African Paradigm built upon? And what does Organic African Paradigm teachings accomplish? Organic African Paradigm is an African brain and perception development curriculum. Organic African Paradigm, in the simplest definition I can give you, it means the natural identity blueprint of the African people. The natural identity of those Africans who are those people who the world, the planet Earth, identify on the universal scale as Black people, Africans, Negro, dark people, everywhere on planet Earth that you are called as you're established by that definition, this blueprint is for those type of people. So Organic African Paradigm principles and philosophies are built upon 5 pillars of living knowledge. Living knowledge is a system. We'll get into that later, but it's built upon 5 pillars of living knowledge. The first knowledge is know thy creator, know thy environment, know thy ancestor, know thyself, and know thy enemy. So those are the 5 pillars of living knowledge. People in this world, you only know about know thyself. You only know that branch of knowledge where people say, know thyself, know thyself. In Organic African Paradigm, there are 5 separate branches of knowledge. Know thy creator, know thy environment, know thy ancestors, know thyself, and know thy enemy. So you know which one you are learning at any given time. Now, let's talk about our ancestors, those people we found in the tent. Give me a sec here. So the ancient Africans, we call our ancestors, had nobody to inherit the blueprint of civilization from. Unlike me and you, who we are born today, we inherit things. Our ancestors had no one to inherit the blueprint of civilization from. The blueprint of human development, nobody, right? The blueprint of soul, human well-being, the blueprint of science, the tools to build civilization, the blueprint of, give me a sec here, my screen. The blueprint of the overarching forces of the divinities, the divine world, they had no one to teach them, right? They came up with that idea. They came up with the blueprint for civilization. They came up with all of that as the initiators. So we Africans have inherited that same ability from them. They created the blueprint to navigate the totality of what we call planet Earth, or we call existence. They created that blueprint so they could navigate existence itself. and the blueprint of the stars. They were the ones who mapped the stars. They were the ones who established what we call supernatural and supernatures of humanities. They were the ones who invented all these things. The ancient Africans were the ones. So the ancestors are called, they have reached the pinnacle of extraordinary African. We are not yet at the pinnacle of extraordinary African. We are at the mediocre stage yet. The stage which our ancestors exist at is a stage called world builders. They could build, if you put them on any planet in the universe, they would rebuild the blueprint exactly as it is time and time again. You put them on Jupiter, they would rebuild the blueprint. You put them on whatever in the universe, they will do it. We, on the other hand, this generation, we cannot replicate that because we are not the world builders yet. So those ancient Africans were so extraordinary, they reached the pinnacle of human existence. They proved that they could wield mastery of the human mind, the human body, the human spirit, and build great infrastructures. Infrastructure so complex that it would be a mystery to even the people they call themselves scientists, archaeology. It is a mystery to them. That is how complex African infrastructure is. So they prove that with just 5 simple truths, all other truths in the universe could be understood. Know thy creator, know thy environment, know thy ancestor, know thyself, and know thy enemy. So organic African paradigm is the resurrection and the refinement of that same blueprint which the ancestors cultivated within the beginning of human existence. So it is meant to build the extraordinary Africans back again, to bring the Africans towards the pinnacle of extraordinary Africans. That is what organic African paradigm is. What makes organic African paradigm stand out? Organic African paradigm is fully built already and is established curriculum for African people's brain development and perception development, behavior and character development. The African people are the well, and organic African paradigm teaching draws the water out of the well. So in Africa, we have well that we go there and you throw a bucket in the water and you draw the water out. So the person drawing the water out of the well is organic African paradigm. You are the well that contain the water of knowledge, the water of infinity and infinitesimal and etc., boundlessness. Organic African paradigm draws the water out of you as an African. So they draw the water out and the water manifests in 3 dimensions: soul, intelligence, and science. Soul refers to well-being, African functionality, everything that has to do with an African being well in a state of wellness. Intelligence has to do with everything that an African needs to navigate the cosmos. And the science is everything that an African builds with their hand. It might be a pot, or it might be a spoon, or it might be a computer or a laptop. It falls within the science. So these are the 3 dimensions which Africans manifest. Now, imagine a world where Africans had never allowed the Persians in 663 BCE to destroy or invade Egypt, the Assyrians in 525 BCE, the Greeks in 332 BCE. Imagine a world where the Africans had never been pushed off the global stage of power by the Romans after the fall of Carthage in 146 BCE. Imagine a world where Africans fought together as one people during every single invasion, always together as one, and they won against every single enemy who rose to conquer them and dominate them, and their social cultures, their political cultures, their economical culture, their spiritual culture, and their intellectual culture. And the very heart of their civilization, what we call Nubia Kemet, or the placenta, according to our ancestors. Our ancestors call Nubia Kemet the placenta. Imagine every battle that the Africans fought as one people to protect and defend their way of life together. Imagine that kind of power it would take, the kind of unity it would take, the kind of trust it would take, the kind of coexistence it would take to maintain such a world where Africans will always fight together as one against all types of invaders. So imagine a world where the Arabs' invasion were halted in 632 Common Era, and they never moved into the African continent to occupy the Sudan, to occupy Morocco, and all those things never happened. And the Europeans never got the chance to even encroach into Africa from Spain into Tunisia. Imagine that kind of world. So a world where the Arabs never came to the continent and occupied it and systematically removed the African ancestral names, remove the African culture, the foundation, with their own, and put their own cultural name, their own ancestral, and their own belief system into the African. Imagine the hordes of Europeans that casted across the world by the doctrine of discovery. When they announced the doctrine of discovery in 1452 CE, and they were coming to usurp the world from us. But the African people knew that, and they were able to drive them right back into Europe, right? And all the wealth of other nations would have not been squandered or plundered by these people, all because the African people had a blueprint. Imagine a world where after 1884 Berlin Conference, a great African military fully united, same way as Europe united as one, the great African military fully united and drove them right back into Europe where they came from. Imagine that kind of world where Africans live like this. Now, what do you get in exchange for that kind of world? What will you have to sacrifice to achieve that kind of world? So imagine a world where Africans did not come to see their dark skin, their hair, their nose, their lips, their native names, they're as inferior, and they put Arabs and Europeans as superior. Imagine a world where Africans were not just recognized for being great dancers, great athletes, and artists. Rather, they were recognized as the greatest architects, engineers, biologists, chemists, system builders. They were recognized for leadership and administration, farming, and agriculture. Imagine a world where Africans didn't cross the desert and travel to Libya to be sold for $400 in foreign lands and drown at sea in migration. Imagine that kind of world. They would be able to build their lives in their own land, the lands of their ancestors. Imagine a world where Africans were not vulnerable to deception, manipulation, easily corrupted, easily goaded to wars, killing themselves, conflict against their fellow African. If you can imagine that kind of world, then you understand what organic African paradigm is. That is what organic African paradigm is. It is that world where Africans don't have none of the issues I've listed. So the challenges in the way of African development. African development is simplified into 5 pillars: spiritual organization, social organization, economical organization, political organization, intellectual organization. These are the 5 dimensions of African development. The 5 dimensions, which are called human organization: the economic, political, spiritual, social, intellectual. This is how all humans across the planet organize themselves. In one of these 5 dimensions, they organize themselves. So in order for a group of people to be considered well organized, they have to establish themselves in these 5 dimensions in totality. At the base of a people's culture, their relationship and their institution is what organic African paradigm defines as the finished and established product of pragmatic thinking, speech, and action. So in order for you to achieve all of this, pragmatic thinking, speech, and action must be the finished product. So from these application of powers, we produce the results that are established as attaining our one organizational goal, the goal that I was talking about. Imagine a world Africans did this. That's the one organizational goal: to never be dominated by outsiders. That is the goal. Now, when this goal is broken down into 5 dimensions, This goal manifest as spiritual goal, intellectual goal, social goal, political goal, and economical goal. When this goal is broken down into 3 dimensions, this goal manifests as soul, intelligence, and science. When this goal is broken down again, it manifests as our reality, our tools, and our illusions. Illusions means philosophy, etc., etc. So all the cultures of the people, the African people, our thought, speech, and action must serve these 5 dimensions of human organization. Our spiritual culture, our social culture, our political culture, all of these cultures must serve our thought, speech, and action. When culture serves our 5 dimensions of human organization, it will serve the soul, which is the family. The soul is the family. The soul is the self. The soul is the community. The soul is the society and the collective well-being. So anytime you hear the word soul, it means well-being. So their purpose and their destiny, whatever our purpose and destiny is, that it will serve that. So which was given to us by the creator, the source, it will serve our intelligence. Our 5 dimensions of human organization serve our intelligence, which is our ability to navigate all things, reality, tools, and illusions. Knowing the self, knowing the environment, knowing the creator, the ancestors, the enemy, knowing our past, knowing our present, knowing our future, knowing the micro universe and the macro universe, knowing the patterns of the external, the internal worlds. So it will serve our science, which is something that African likes, this generation like that, which is the tools that we manufacture, we facilitate to facilitate our lives, the tools that we build to protect and defend our land, and the tools that are built and sustained within our environment, but they're not exceeding to the point of self-harm. When these dimensions are all met and produce a pragmatic thinking, speech, and action, we have the 360 dimension of understanding, so reality, tools, and illusions, soul, science, and intelligence. So at some point in every culture's, every group around the world, at some point in their history, they became concerned with longevity and sustainability. Me and you and everybody else, we've arrived at this point. We are concerned with African longevity. We don't want to be extinguished off the earth anymore. We don't want people to use viruses and kill us off. So we are concerned with longevity. Now we are concerned with having power. We are concerned with having wealth. We are concerned with having our own things. We are concerned with sustainability. So you get to the point where you arrive at your human development, what you want, your accumulations, what you hope to accumulate, and understanding of the self, the foundations you lay down to understand yourself, and the resources that your land, your animals, you produce to your society, the human resource, the animal resource, etc., to understand these things. We get to that point where we have to understand these. There must be individuals within the scholarship or the philosophical branch understanding whose responsibility are to refine and edify for the people a core universalism. A core universalism is a one unified system which everyone can build upon. So you see a house, you have one foundation, but you can build 20 stories on that one foundation. You can build 50 stories on that one foundation. Empire State Building has one foundation, but you can build many different things on top of the Empire State Building, right? Because of that one foundation. So the one foundation is called the core universalism, the one unified system. And within the one unified system, you establish the principles of relationship and institution to achieve results. These unified systems are modeled and made relative to human development, accumulation, understanding of the self, and the environmental resources of each culture, the society, the collective, etc. So the concept of a unified system and understanding the facts per the organic African paradigm. Organic African paradigm has built this system. This system is called the core African universalism. So core African universalism doesn't have anything with the Arabs in it, doesn't have anything with the Asians, doesn't have anything. It's a core African universalism. And it's established practice and adherence to these facts to produce the African human development, the African accumulation, the African understanding of self and natural resource. So, core African universalism is the organic African paradigm itself. That's what it is. You say, what is core African universalism? It is literally the organic African paradigm. This unified system will consist of accumulation of what I call the natural truths of Africa, meaning the ancestral truth of Africa, our natural truths, the natural identity blueprint, the vital to life philosophies, the foundation, the 360 dimension of our soul, our intelligence, our science, the invisible and the visible, the tangible and the non-tangible, the internal and the external lens and framework, how we see the creator of the universe according to us, how we see nature according to us, how we understand ancestors according to our culture, values, needs, wants, our ability to work and be productive. That's how we understand the world in the organic African paradigm. There is no other lens inside the organic African paradigm. You cannot find any other cultural lens inside the organic African paradigm. You only find one lens, an African lens. The desire, the African results, the search for equilibrium, and to exist as extensions of each other. That is the only thing you find in organic African paradigm. So because of this, African people, we have arrived at that point where we all, this is the end of the presentation. I'm going to stop it. African people, we have arrived at the point where I will say we have done what we can with what we had, but now you have to pivot. We have to merge. And this merger is something we don't know how to do yet because we weren't taught how to be beyond an individual yet. You haven't been taught this. There's no system. Every one of us operates as individuals. Every one of us does our own thing. Every one of us builds ourselves, right? Anything we do it for ourselves. Yet, but in the end, what we want, as opposed to what we are doing, they do not produce the same results. But organic African paradigm, it produces the result it said it produces. Doesn't produce anything beyond that. So I'm going to stop and I will let you come in.
Thank you so much, family. I've got to plug myself in. What a presentation that was indeed. And it was a lot to take in, a lot, because wow, we were hearing about, all these different dimensional ways of thinking, the institutions that we need to build and the frameworks for them and a whole new way of thinking as well, really. Wow, it was, someone in the chat said, hold on, we need a council of elders to take on this sort of stuff. And Kofi says, wow, this is so esoteric. I have no idea what he's talking about. So we have to break it down, beloved. We have to break it down. But Kwame Aboje says, we are Africans and we are the originators in medicine, language, linguistics, law, algebra, everything. But, my understanding is that all of that, everything, that we stood for, who we are, we have been stripped of. We have been stripped of the knowledge of who we are, our greatness, how we achieved, how we accomplished, how we did all of the magnificent things that we did in the past, because, it's almost as if the world that existed before that we lived in has been completely stripped away. It's been airbrushed out of existence. And here we are kind of rootless. And one of the questions I asked in the beginning, family, and if you haven't already answered in the chat, please do. How old are we? How old are we as Africans? It's an answer I think we all ought to know the answer to, is it not? But we don't. Why not? Because the essence of who we are has been stripped out of us. And, we're now seeing the world through somebody else's lenses, their vision and their outlook of the world and how we're expected to see ourselves has been replaced with their mindset. But let me go into some of what you were saying there, my brother. Wow. I really loved, we say quite often, know thyself, know thyself. Africans, know thyself. And here you are saying now, it's not just about knowing yourself, it's about knowing your creator, knowing your environment, knowing your enemy, and knowing your ancestors. That's beautiful. That's powerful. It really is, because, it's not just about knowing ourselves. We have to know our environment, how to make use of our environment, how our environment, can protect us and everything, because we had all of that knowledge, all of the knowledge, the sciences and everything that we had, built over the, I won't say how many years, because you're going to tell me how many years we've been around for, family, all that we had built over all of that time. Most of that knowledge we acquired from having knowledge of our environment. We might have been downloaded that information by our ancestors. And then we survived all of that time because we knew our enemy and we understood our enemy. But like you said at the beginning, imagine if we had really seen, the deceivers who came in and settled among us for who they really were. Imagine where we would be. Right. Well, we're not there. So what we've now got to do, family, is to work out how we're going to get back to where we need to be in that spirit of oneness, knowing, that it's so important for all of us to stick together and go on that journey together. Wow, wow, wow. Let me go over to the chat and see if we've got some more comments. Come on, family. What are your thoughts and opinions in response to what we have just learned? Lindy, welcome, says B1, Black first, all the way. Kwame Oboje says, if our great elder, the late Ben Banneker, can examine the stars, the moon and the sun, is our ancestry. Absolutely. These individuals, they're just examples of what we're capable of and what we can do. So let me get some questions for our brother Mitri. Do you have any questions? Do you have any comments in response to our brother's presentation? And while you're thinking of your questions, let me go back to our brother Mitri. And, if you was to sum up the key points and the essence of what you were communicating there, my brother, and break it down on a level, because it's early evening and maybe a lot of the audience have had a heavy day, and for some it might just go over their head, tell us in layman's terms, what is it you're saying to
All right.
us?
I'll put it in I'll put it in simple language for everyone to understand.
Thank you.
If you took the entire population of Africa today, the Caribbean, Haiti, everywhere, and you give them the country called China, you deposited every Black person into China the way China is. And then you take all the Chinese people, you give them the African continent. Now, who will maintain their society? Who will develop the society? Who will erect a great civilization out of those two groups of people? And I will tell you right now, truthfully, the Chinese people will take Africa and erect it, and they will balance Africa, and they will keep their unity without any interference. They will be able to produce what they produce in China, right in Africa. If you took the African people over there, they will start to fight amongst themselves. Eventually, they will not be able to maintain none of the technologies, the advanced things that the Chinese put there, and those things will decay. Those things will go to rot. They will go back to exactly where they are from this point. Corruption, greed, everything will manifest exactly as it is. And that is the truth. And I will tell you, if you did the same with the Europeans, you take the Africans, all of us, give us Europe, and take all the Europeans and put them in Africa. The Europeans will build Africa the same way they've done it. They built Europe. They will do the exact same thing they do in Europe, and we will do the exact same thing we do in Europe. And then that will be it. So we might aspire for something, but we might not be equipped for it. You might not yet be ready for it. You see, you can want to be the president of England, but you might not be equipped for it. Any African will say, I want to be the leader, right? But they might not be equipped to be the leader. You see, I'll give you a simple question I want to ask you. If you are living in a village in Jamaica, and tomorrow every member of that village wakes up blind, who do you become? If you didn't lose your sight, but everybody in that village had their sight, what do you become in that village? This is a question for you, my sister.
Oh, me? What do I got? Am I the blind one or the one who's not blind and everybody else is blind?
If you are in a village in Jamaica, a village of 50 people.
Yes.
You wake up tomorrow, you the only one who have sight, but everybody in that village is blind. What do you become?
The one with sight, the visionary. Well, I'm not necessarily the visionary, because you can be blind and still have vision. But yeah, I'd have to be able to lead to some extent, you know, the blind, and do for the blind what they can't do for themselves. What do I become?
You become exactly what you just said. Because if you are in a society and everybody has no sight, you are the leader. There's no other way around it. You are the leader. Now you have choices.
I found that so hard to say, I must say, because I don't see myself as a leader. So you're saying that we all need to see ourselves as leaders, and what you said, just going back to what you said there about if we were given China and China was given Africa, or if we were given Europe and the Europeans were given Africa, basically, you know, we would fight among ourselves and destroy that country that we're in, whilst they are busily erecting a new Africa. Oh my gosh, you know, that was a hard blow. That was a really hard blow. Someone did comment in the chat, and it was our sister Smith, who said, where's the comment there? Seems like we did great things when we were by ourselves. Seems like we have to figure out now how to do that which others are doing, knowing that we will still be harassed, pressured, and that they will take from us. So is it a situation, you know, because in your opening, the opening of your presentation, you talked about, imagine if we hadn't been conquered by the Persians, imagine if we hadn't been conquered by the Europeans, the Arabs, the Romans, and everybody else. Imagine where we would be. So that means that, you know, where we were before all of these invasions and conquests is, you know, was the great days that we can talk about as a people. We managed to accomplish so much, didn't we, when we were on our own? We did it then. Why are we not then able to think about doing it now, post invasion, conquest, and everything? You know, back then, without all of the external interference, yeah, sure, we were able to, you know, be the conquerors, be the great ones, but not now. Why?
Are you asking me or the audience?
No, I'm asking you. That was a question from the audience. You know, it seems we could do great all by ourselves, but now we're in the state that you're describing. But obviously we weren't always in that position. Why are we so functional now?
The antelope in the Serengeti will never be alone from the crocodile or the lions. The zebra in the Serengeti will never be alone from the leopard, the hyenas, the African wild dogs. Our creator, out of whatever reason, our creator decided to put all of us together in this soup. That is not really my expertise to say why the creator put all of us in this soup. I don't understand why the creator would put the lions and the antelopes together or the creator will put the crocodile and force, and the zebras will still cross the river, despite knowing that the crocodiles are in that river, and many of them will die, despite knowing that the water is full of crocodiles, and they will be eaten. They're eaten daily by the lions. They're eaten daily by the antelopes. The antelopes are eaten. Some of their children are eaten, you know. So I want you to understand that in that context. You will never be alone on this planet. The Creator put the Europeans here for a reason. It's not my place to tell the Creator, why did you put them here? My place is for Africans to understand that every environment has obstacles, challenges, right? Every environment has that. You have the ability to discern, to decide to build your environment. You can tell what another person will do, how they will do it, when they will do it. Like the antelope cannot tell a lion, you cannot hunt us when we were by ourselves and you know, nobody was hunting us. Now you showed up and you are hunting us. The antelope cannot tell a lion that. The zebra cannot give a speech to the crocodile and tell the crocodile, when we used to cross the river and then you showed up and now you attack us every time we cross the river, right? It doesn't matter if the European is on earth with us or the European does what he does. Our ability to build a civilization should be the same regardless. If you are good at what you say you are, you should be able to do it under pressure, in any condition, under any dimension, right? You should be, if you know how to drive, you should be able to drive in the rain, in the snow, in maybe fire possibly, or storm, right? You should know how to drive. So we like to say we build civilization. Our ancestors built civilization. We didn't build it.
We're our ancestors returning, though, are we not?
And I will explain that. First of all, we need to understand the relationship between people and ancestors. Ancestors are pure beings, right? We, in this dimension that we are, we have absorbed a lot of things, amnesia, lost memories, all those type of stuff. In order for you to engage ancestors, as I've told you, I was pursuing material wealth. I was pursuing fame. That was my dream, my hope. I wanted those things. Ancestors did not want that thing for me. They wanted something else. So if you approach ancestors, it's not about what you want anymore. It's about what they want. So if you tell yourself, I'm going back to my ancestors, then you are going there to become like them. If they were upright people, you can't be saying, I'm gonna be a this and that. You gotta be like them, upright. If they were truth tellers, you gotta tell the truth. If they didn't smoke or drink or do something, you gotta do it the way they do it. You don't bring them to your level, right? You go to their level. So that is how I understand ancestors. Maybe other people understand it in a different way, where you can bring ancestors to your level and reduce them to where you are at. But I understood that I have to give up the goal, the pursuit of wealth and money in order for me to be able to reach them. And I had to change the way I greet people, the way I talk, the way I say things, even though I didn't want to. I used to say, what's up, yo? How you doing, bro? I used to do all those things, but they don't want you to do that when you approach them. You got to do it the way they did it.
So if working in alignment with our ancestors mean, having to rise to that higher calling, and, obviously leaving all the worldly goods and the worldly mindset behind, is it that it's for a select group of people to be able to do that, rather than it being for the entire African race? Possibly someone said, we need a council of elders to be able to elevate us to that level. If we look across to China, which you gave the example of, and Europe, etc., it's not all of their people that have all the knowledge that are building their countries and their place within the world. It's really a select few, isn't it, that are the leaders, are the drivers, are the initiators, are the policymakers, etc. Let me give you a final word on that. And actually, and then before we come back on that, let me see what we got in the chat. A crazy, welcome, welcome. Thanks for your comments. He said, in that scenario, given no Greeks, in that scenario given, no Greeks would attack the Chinese if they are given the African land. So therefore, they will be great in keeping on their purpose. Kwame Boje says, but still our ancestors are great. Greet each other as brothers and sisters anyway. Let's see what else have we got. Someone's agreeing, making some in agreement there. Don't know exactly what it was with. Kwame Boje says, Africans once upon a time did things on their own, but now we have shown compliancy. Now we have shown compliancy. Okay, so we comply with everybody else instead of ourselves. Okay, so Mundele says, you invent a way to help the blind to see, Sister Shanice. Ah, I like that response. And Kwesi says, we must all share and invite our generation of friends and families who share our philosophy to seminars like this. Yes, the wisdom. Akwalwa says, trust the wisdom from my mentor, Mitri. Wow. And SA saying, it's deep, it's deep. I think people are feeling, yeah, that this is some deep philosophical, ideological, complete paradigm shift. And we have to prepare ourselves, I think, for a session like this mentally. I think we have to come prepared. I think we even need to fast for a whole strong, and take all the toxins out of our body, all the distractions out of our way, and almost sit down with our legs crossed, just ready to absorb the level of information that you're imparting. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to leave us with some parting words, please, beloved Mitri. And family, is this the sort of teaching that we need? Do we need our teacher to be coming to us on a regular basis, to deliver this sort of new mindset that we need to have as a people in order for us to be elevated? Is this the mindset that we're looking for? You've had a taste of what we could be feasting on. Tell me in the chat, do we need, to put aside a special day for a new series that's going to help us shift our mindset, not just from knowing ourselves, but getting to know our ancestors, our environment, our enemies, and what was the other one? Mindset, the creator and our creator. Woo, let me know in the chat, family. Let me give you a couple of minutes to just wrap up, and then I'm going to bring in our doctor and Brother Capelle, who are in the waiting room.
Okay, I said in the beginning, you are a well. In ancestral knowledge, water is the source of all, is the source of knowledge, is the source of wisdom, is the source of everything. Majority of the symbols on the pyramid walls are water. If you go to the Dogon and you say you want to be, they will make you wash. You wash your genitals. You cannot approach with any kind of fecal matter on your body whatsoever. Cleanliness is vital to the initiation or any kind of spiritual thing. So in ancient Africa, it was a mandate for people to be purified before they approach their ancestors. They call this ablution. Now, I will say all of you are a well. Organic African paradigm draws the water out of you. So you have the wisdom in you, you have the knowledge in you, you have the memories in you. You don't know how to pull it out because you have lost touch with that world. Organic African paradigm pulls the water out of you. It doesn't put water in you. It doesn't put wisdom in you. It pulls the wisdom out of you. So what people are calling ancestors, I will explain ancestors to very simple for you to understand. You have something in your body, Europeans or called DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid. In European language, deoxyribonucleic acid, we call it DNA. In African language, we call this same thing ancestors. So you have ancestors in you, but can you communicate with your DNA? No, you cannot. It's there automatically doing things in your body. In order for you to communicate and draw out from that water, that source, you have to do certain things. You have to go through certain things. There are two specific things you have to do first. You have to achieve willingness, which is one of the most difficult things for a human being to acquire, is willingness. And then once you acquire that willingness, then that water starts to rise. And then when I put the bucket in the well, the water comes flowing out. That's how you will reach that. So it's not difficult. It's not something that is challenging. It's merely you only need to have one thing, is willingness. Once you have it, you will learn. So positive energy and creation energy to all of you. The one who comes in peace is always welcome. The one who comes to teach is always welcome. And the one who comes to learn is especially always welcome. Thank you, my dear sister, for having me.
Thank you so, so much. So family in the chat, please do applaud our brother Mitri and tell me, do you have the willingness? Do you have the willingness to come, to allow him to draw your greatness from out of you? Let us know in the chat. Yeah, it's you. The well is inside of you. He can help to draw that greatness out of you. Is that what we need? Okay, we've got, yes, some yeses. Presentation, very good. Yes, he's saying some deep, pure ancestral philosophy is the way forward. Sonia's saying, oh, yes. Kwame Abodja saying, sure, we need some more. S.A. Smith saying, yes. Okay, so our people, I think, we've got a nice small group there. Is there anyone else who's saying that we need to know how to draw this water from our well? Yeah, let me know in the chat. Thank you so much. My brother, you're welcome to wait or to stay with us if you want to. If we get an opportunity to come back to you, we will. But I'm just admitting to the room now our brother Capelle, and I believe we should have our doctor in the house as well. So Dr. Bestines should be joining us, and our brother Capelle. Yes, greetings. I can see Dr. Bestine there. How are you? Can you hear me, Dr. Bestines? Yeah, let's see if you're on mute. No, you're not on mute. Brother Capelle, you need to maybe go out, Dr. Capelle, you may need to go out and come back in again. Okay, right. Take yourself off mute and put your camera on as well, please, Capelle. So while they're doing that, just want to thank you so much again, Brother Mitri, for addressing our audience and trying to give us that paradigm shift. Let me just check to see if we can hear from the great doctor. Dr. Bestine, can we hear from you?
Absolutely. And
yes.
Greetings to everyone. My pleasure to be with you.
Oh, wonderful to have you here. Tell the audience, where in the world are you joining us from?
I'm in Florida right now.
Mm-hmm,
I'm in Orlando.
Orlando, very nice indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your ancestry? Which part of the world were you from before you went to America?
I was in Belgium
for
a long time. But I'm a Levite. I'm born in Haiti. I'm a Jew.
Hey, we have a Haitian in the house. Welcome. Our family. Yes, you bring the spirit of our family from Haiti. Welcome. And I can see we've got Brother Capelle joining us as well. Brother Capelle, welcome. Let the audience know where in the world you're joining us from.
Greetings. Am I audible enough?
Yes, you're fine. Little low, but you're coming through.
Okay, no, thank you very much for for the opportunity. Originally, I'm from Democratic Republic of Congo, but currently I'm residing here in South Africa.
Welcome, welcome, Brother Kapele. So, Doctor, were you able to hear the presentation that our brother Mitri was delivering while you were in the waiting room? Were you able to hear it, any of it?
I didn't have access, so I could not hear anything.
Oh, no.
I was just sitting there and waiting. I could not
I'm sorry,
I could not listen, unfortunately, until you let me in.
Oh, that's such a shame. And was that the same for you, Kapele? You're not able to hear or listen in the waiting room.
Same here.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'll have to try and find a different setting then, so that our family in the waiting room can actually hear what's going on front of house. It was a very deep philosophical presentation that dug deep, and basically, in a nutshell, it's saying we've got to change our thinking, our outlook. We've got to go within ourselves to bring out and draw out from within ourselves that greatness that lies in there. Our ancestors, they've shown us, and they're proof, of our potential. But we've got so much more to do now. Let's go over, first of all, to the doctor. And let me do... just let you know, family, that Dr. Bastine, he's going to be joining us at our event on Saturday, the 28th of October. We really need you to get tickets for this event, because we're going to be raising funds for the people of Haiti and also for the people of the DRC Congo. And we can only do that with your support, family. Remember, you're the ones on this platform who said that we should have this fundraiser event. If you get your tickets now, you can get it for a discounted $5 instead of 10. So please make sure that you get your ticket now from Eventbrite. Go to www.eventbrite.co.uk and just do a search for DRC Congo and Haiti fundraiser and get your tickets for the 28th of October. We've got a fantastic lineup of guest speakers, fantastic lineup of artists. It's going to be a day where we have performances, educational presentations, discussions, panel. We need you in the house. So, but first of all, let's go over to our brother, Dr. Kenny Bastine, and find out from him, a bit more about what the situation is in Haiti and why he feels that we, the diaspora, need to get involved in what's happening right now in Haiti. Then
apologies, sister. Apologies. I'm going to step out and watch it so that I can experience it.
You can watch it live. Yeah, that's
fine. Okay. I'll be in the comments. Okay.
Okay, wonderful. So back to our Dr. Bastine. You've heard what we're trying to do. Why is it important for us as a community to get involved in what's happening in Haiti?
It's important for all of us from the diaspora to get involved, because the Caucasians, the Edomites, I call them the Red Dogs, they team up to destroy Haiti, because Haiti reminds them of their inability to submit the black, what they call black. I don't call myself black because I'm not black. I'm African. I'm a Jew. I'm a child of God. So that black concept and white concept, it's a manipulation for economical slavery. So they come up identifying them as black, as white. In the same time, they perform what we call the iconoclasm. Iconoclasm, they went to dissolve, to destroy all the paintings presenting the apostle, presenting Christ as a black man. All the sense, if you go to Russia, in most of those churches, you'll find that the representation of the disciples and the Christ himself as black, the angels as black. But they create a system where, through the papacy, they change the representation of the saints, of the angels, of the disciples of Christ as white. So, and they present themselves as white. So there is what we call the bénéfice d'image in French. The bénéfice d'image, if they present Christ as white, so the white race is superior. And they fool all mankind with that foolishness. And we went to believe that Jesus is a white man. So if Jesus, God, is white, so white must have supremacy. But the fact is now the truth is out. They are all liars, and they've been lying to us. So what is the connection with Haiti? Haiti is the first nation to stand up against that type of colonialism, slavery, and kick them out and open its borders to all people fighting for truth, freedom, and liberty. So Haiti is a symbol of that pocket of resistance, of that strength and courage, bravery for dignity, freedom, and truth. So Haiti is like a thorn in the foot, in the face. It's also a slap in the face, reminding them throughout all those centuries that there is human dignity for that group of people that they call black. So now their whiteness is impaired because Haiti is standing. So all those countries, England, Spain, United States, France, Canada, all those countries, they team up to destroy Haiti now to the Congo. And they use the Lebanese, they use the Arab, the Syrians that came from Lebanon, from Syria after the Second World War. They came to Haiti as paupers. And now, because they present themselves as missionary to the Haitian people, to the peasants, the Catholic took control of the educational system and create a kind of apartheid in the society. So those mulattoes, those Lebanese, those Syrians, they remain between themselves, and the missionary, white missionary that come, create a kind of fake elite, and they never mingle with the rest of the Asian people. We continue to give them some values because we thought they were educating us, but as a matter of fact, you find that most of the Haitians, they were so well educated before until 1957 that we went to Canada to educate the people. We went to Africa to educate people because we had the best medical school, we got the best educational system until 1957, until 1960, 1970. So, but after Jean-Claude Duvalier left the country in 1986, then they took over with a fake constitution, and you have Hillary Clinton to come to steal everything that we have, the mines, the land, with Clinton, and they came up with that embargo in 2004, in 2015 again. They did all that foolishness to destroy, to destabilize our society. But now, what is happening right now in Haiti? After they bribe most of the congressmen, deputies, they make them wealthy because they come from poor environment, poor family, and they were totally desperate, but they were educated. So they took over, and now they choose to team up with Dominican Republic, to team up with the Lebanese, and to team up with United States and Canada to destroy the rest of the country and to deliver, to release all the wealth of the country to the core group and to the group of ambassadors that are in Haiti. But what is happening now? There is a upheaval, a conscious awakening of the population that come up with what we call Bois-Calais. And with the Bois-Calais, now we are targeting all the criminals. The gangs are a creation of United Nations. And United Nations is still a combination of United States, Canada, England, Spain, and because they have inside the United Nations, those people control United Nations. So they are still imposing their policies, white supremacy policy to all over the world, to the whole world. So that's why the time has come now for the African to step out of the United Nations, because those people, they are extremely poor. They are thieves. They are thieves. They have nothing. We kick them out. We stop cooperating with them, and we kick them out of Africa. The same way we're going to kick them all out of Haiti. That's what Dessalines did. So that's what I keep saying to everybody. We have reached a moment now where in 2003, we're going to repeat 1804 in 2024. And this is a movement that should not stop. And that's where the African diaspora is invited to join forces with Haiti, because Haiti represents the dignity, the dignity, the superiority of the African race. I don't talk about black race. If we use the terminology black, that means they are white, and they are not white. They are red dogs.
Rise up, Doctor. Thank you so much for your opening remarks. They're absolutely clear now, I hope, to all of us, why we need to support Haiti, why we need to join forces with them. You know, they represent, as he said, you know, our consciousness when we were awoke, what we ought to be doing as a people, you know, and how we need to see the red dogs. Wow, yes, those criminals, the deceivers, the ones who are stealing, not just from Haiti, but from all our lands, everywhere where we are. You mentioned the gangs, and how what seems to be happening is that with the United Nations, the situation is getting worse in the country instead of better. Let's see what's happening over in the DRC Congo, and to see if there's, you know, if it's the same game, different place, different name. Welcome, Brother Kapile. We'll come back to you again afterwards, Doctor, but let's hear from our brother in the Congo. Also, I've got somebody named Yannick in the waiting room. Did you invite someone else, Brother Kapile?
I did.
Oh, you
but she doesn't have to participate. She will be there listening.
Okay, she won't be able to hear in the waiting room, as has been disclosed. So I'll bring her in, and she can sit in the front and have a listen and maybe comment. I just needed to know who she was. Okay, thank you. Brother Kapile, can you introduce yourself and tell us what the situation is, please, in the DRC Congo, and why you feel, you know, the diaspora needs to be linking hands with our brothers and sisters in the Congo during this time. You're on mute. I'm not hearing you, Brother Kapile. It doesn't appear to be on mute, but I'm not hearing you. Still not hearing you. Take yourself off mute, please. Okay, try. I'm not hearing you. Brother Kapile, we were hearing you fine a little while ago, but now suddenly I am not hearing you. What's going on? All right, try talking to me. Can you hear me, Brother Kapile? You're hearing me. Right, talk to me. No, I'm not hearing you. Okay, come out and come back in again, my brother. It seems when I added the other caller, maybe, I'm not sure. So go out and come back in again. And let's see if that helps with the problem. In the meantime, we'll go back to our doctor, you know, and You know, you was reminding us that Haiti stands for truth, freedom, and dignity. You know, and these are the sort of people who we really are. A dignified people, a people who stand for truth, a people who stand for freedom. Brother Kapile, have you frozen? Okay, so this is what it's like on the continent. Imagine all the minerals, you know, to go into making the new technology works comes from the continent, and they're the ones who get the worst and the most appalling service. So let's remove our brother here. And oh yeah, no, I can't remove you, otherwise you won't be able to rejoin. Yeah, Kapile, please exit and come back in again. Yeah, so yeah, doctor, and you were saying that the Catholics organized themselves into educational institutions and then introduced an apartheid system. And now we have the UN, the United Nations, who are supposed to be standing for peace and ensuring security and the free flowing. What's really going on with the UN in Haiti at the moment? Please elaborate on that.
Well, the UN has brought cholera to Haiti.
Wow.
And they have contaminated. Those people, they are the ones that provide all the guns to the gangs. You have that lady called Lalim that came, he structured the game. He said the gang is the future of the country. And also they came up to back up the gang and to say that the gang is the future of the country. This is what the United Nations has done, to divide the country and to set up in different strategic points of the capital. They destroy the National Palace with the fake earthquake. And now the country is controlled by United Nations, American embassy, and also the core group, which is a bunch of diplomats, ambassadors, that team up as a bunch of gangsters to control the politicians. Now we realize that, and now the game is out, and we know exactly what they are doing, and they are not going to get away with anything, because the country, the people, the population, they have no other place to go. Hillary Clinton come up with her mouth to say this is the poorest country of the Caribbean, and her brother is stealing all the gold mine of Haiti. So those people, they have a lot of gut. They are, I would say, bold liars to come to say my country is poor and you're stealing every wealth that we got. So they're going to return all those wealth back to us. Trust me, they will have to.
They will have to, indeed. And if everyone in Haiti has the mindset that you have, then it will be sooner rather than later as well. Wow. So we're hearing, family, that the United Nations stand accused in Haiti as being the ones who are supplying the gangs with the guns.
That's right. It's them. All the guns are coming from United States.
Wow.
You see, all the guns, all the weapons coming from United States. So this is the most absurd situation, and they didn't want to present themselves directly to attack. They went to Kenya.
Wow,
and how can Kenya stand up against us? And how come? And the former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Kenya, now he is no longer in function. They have to mute him to a different place, because he was the one. Was he bribed to accept?
William Ruto.
Yeah.
The President William Ruto. You said he's no longer what? Sorry, he's no longer.
No, it's not William. Not the president. The Minister of Foreign Affairs. He is no longer in function, because after that foolishness, they didn't accept him because there was a change in the ministerial cabinet. So
update us. So the 1,000 police force that was supposed to be coming from Kenya you know, on this mission to Haiti. Is that no longer going to be happening?
We cannot say that it's no longer happening, but for the time being, the Parliament of Kenya stand against them because the opposition party is asking for more reason and justification. So that mission now is seriously compromised in Kenya, which is a very good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone across the entire continent ought to see it for what it really is, you know. These people, the Red Dogs, bringing in Africans to act as buffers, you know, and then obviously when they do come in, they will cause some kind of provocation or situation. They'll probably murder some of the Kenyans and blame it on the Haitians. And then we'll get another situation where we're warring against each other. Let's go over to our brother now, who's representing the DRC Congo, and see if we can hear from him. My brother, while you were out the room, we were hearing about the guns coming in from the USA, supplying the gangs in Haiti. That has also been a claim that we've heard quite often in Jamaica as well. It's like, where are these guns coming from? Jamaica doesn't make guns, but the streets are flooded with guns in Jamaica. There's been occasions when, you know, the people on the wharf have opened up containers and found it full with guns. So there seems to be an agenda, certainly in some parts of our world, to flood our nations with guns. But I do know that if we were in our right minds, we wouldn't be using those guns against each other. We would be putting them to good use. But let me just allow my brother to come in and hear if his audio is now working. Welcome, Brother Kapile.
Greetings. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Cutting in and out a little bit, but we can definitely still hear you now. We can hear you. Go ahead. Welcome.
Okay, no, thank you. Thank you very much, Sister Shanice, for this opportunity just to be on the show. As I said earlier on, originally I'm from a Democratic Republic of Congo, but currently I am living here in South Africa. I left my country early 1996 because of political instability, insecurity, and an ongoing conflict that is taking place in the Democratic Republic of Congo, especially in the eastern part of DRC. Briefly, the history of our country is characterized by political instability, ethnic conflict, violation of human rights, you know, and all forms of discrimination and exploitation that our people went through since, you know, our country was taken over by the King Leopold II, where we were dispossessed from our natural resources. And from there, our country went to the Belgium after King Leopold II has cities in the country. And it was due to international solidarity that one of the analysts from United Kingdom documented the impunity that Congolese people went through during the reign of King Leopold II, and to that international campaign, mobilizing solidarity from different countries. You know, King Leopold found himself under pressure. He was forced now to end of in Belgium. So during the period,
oh dear. My apologies. We seem to have lost our...
in the rank and file of the working class.
Yeah, let's bring us up to date, my brother.
Lumumba,
bring us up to date because of time. If you could roll forward. because your line isn't very good. It seems to be worse when I have more people on. I've just added
question that we are facing. So currently, ongoing war that is taking place, where
yes, so there's an ongoing war taking place, you were saying. Oh,
yes, in the eastern part of Congo, there is a war that is going on there. It started since 1996 when Laurent Kabila came to power. And then the war in the eastern part of Congo, it's a war that is sponsored by multinational corporations, because that in that part of DRC, that area, the whole eastern part of country is endowed with these military companies that are operating in a technological industry and so forth and so on. So the war for the struggle.
yeah, and we're struggling to hear you, beloved.
For cobalt, uranium, to these multinational companies.
We had such good reception before, and now the line is really
Hello?
bad. Yeah, can you go
Yes,
out and come back in again, my brother? If you can go out and come back in again, and let's hope that we get a better line when you come back in again. Okay, Brother Kapile?
Okay, let me go out.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me bring back our doctor who's settled again now. Doctor, we can see you are now front of house. Brother Kapile is going to go out and come back in again. I'm just going to bring in some comments from our audience for you. So rise up, family, to those of you that are commenting in the house. I want to rise up, each and every one of you. Is there a way that we can get some of the readings? What readings are those, Akwesi? Let us know. Elena says, so much easier said than done. So something that we've been talking about, so much easier said than done. Mundele says, greetings to our Haiti doctor who lived in Belgium, the land of the mass murderers of Leopold II. Yes, indeed. And Kwame Boje says, Haiti is an African island that suffered and still is suffering by the hands of Babylon. Yes, indeed. And Alina said, it's called whitewashing. And the organic African paradigm. That's what I think you want more information on. Okay. Hopefully our brother's hearing that and picking that up. We have to see ourselves as enough, says S.A. Smith. Absolutely agree with that. Welcome, Rooney, welcome. So let me scroll down and see if there's put the link in to Eventbrite in the chat. I'll do that so that you can just click the link and it will take you to where you can get the tickets for Saturday's event. What a great lineup. We've got so many beautiful speakers supporting us on that day. Brother Kapile, you're still frozen. I think you need to exit Zoom and then log back in again, please. And we'll see if we get a better line. Doctor, we need to have a position, don't we, as a people? We need to be clear about what our position is with regards to Haiti, what our position is with regards to the DRC Congo. We need to have a position whereby, as the diaspora, we are together as one in terms of our outlook and what's happening there. And so, this is where it's important for us as a people to be able to say that we come together to defend Haiti and that we support Haiti in defending its territory, that we defend Haiti against the international armed forces, that we defend Haiti against the UN resolution that's supposed to be the people, the agency and the force that's supposed to be in there supporting. You know, we're very concerned about their activities. You know, we ought to make it clear as well that we're totally opposed to the Kenyans coming into Haiti, supposedly to solve the problem of Haiti. How can they come in and solve the problem of Haiti when they've got so many domestic problems of their own that they need to be trying to sort out? And so, you know, is there a proclamation you feel that we and a position that we ought to take? And
yes.
you know, go ahead, please, Dr. Bastines,
Well,
and tell us.
This is going to be, for example, my last intervention, because time-wise, I'm compelled to leave. But what I would say, we have somebody said it's easier said than done. That's not true. It's a matter of creativity. Each African, and all the African in the Caribbean, all the African living in the United States, all African living in London must consider themselves as a citizen soldier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can be a woman, you can be a man, you are a citizen soldier belonging to which army? The African army.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, if you are part of the diaspora, you are all over dispersed in many countries all over the world, is because of slavery. You don't belong to those places. And that's why they're coming after us to kill us, to poison us, to destroy us. You need to become a citizen soldier. Don't think you are living in those countries by accident. And you are despised, rejected, and they block your bank, your economic system. You need to become a citizen soldier. A citizen soldier not only carrying a weapon to kill people. How many Black people are killing people? You don't see that. But they force us to kill us between ourselves, to kill each other. When you become a citizen soldier, you become a citizen soldier that unite your strength, your knowledge, to create banking system, to reconquer our economic independence. The first move is the economic independence. We need to create our own banks. As a citizen soldier of the African continent, we need to have a larger mindset. And you do the same for Haitian. Each Haitian should become a citizen soldier for Haiti. If we do that, you know what that represents? Haiti become a country with a troop, a force of 12 million soldiers. In no time, we can conquer the Dominican Republic. We saved them from slavery. And we controlled them for 22 years. And now they're coming to play that game. If all of us, we unite, we don't need United States, we don't need United Nations, we kick those people out of our place, because we are all of us citizen soldiers. So this is what we need to develop. It's a new wave of consciousness, a new level of consciousness of what we represent. Each one of you become a soldier. You can be a boy, you can be, but a soldier for liberty, freedom. Liberty and freedom and power, economic power. We don't need those people. We have the land, we have the wealth. They need us. But what the game they play is they set us up against each other. They divide us and they take what we have. But if we wake up and we come back to that level of unity, understanding, and also we group and we conquer our identity. We are African, we are not Black. They are white because they fool us, telling us that God is white, but they are red dogs. That's why the Bible called them. The Bible called them red. So we need to change the terminology. We don't call ourselves Black, because if we call ourselves Black, that means we are using the terminology to identify us. So when we cancel that, I remember when I went to Belgium, and I said, but they're calling me black. I never understood what that means. What does that mean? How can I be black? I have the color of the land. So black is foolishness. Black is the concept that they use to manipulate your psyche. So let's shut that down, because the word black didn't exist in 1600s.
Well, you know, we do have, many of us do have a totally different interpretation on the word black. We've given it our own definition. And black in the diaspora has a history, a powerful history. When we talk about black, we're talking about black power, black pride, black consciousness. We're talking about, I mean, there's a whole industry that's built around it. We've got Black History Month, you know, it stands for a lot. But I understand what you're saying, because people from different parts of the world are going to have, you know, some issues with that word. But you know, most languages do have, you know, a word for black, but we see black in its power. The universe is black, the melanin, the soil that in which all things are birthed. But
that's not black.
But I feel the power. I feel the power of your energy, and I love the power that I feel that comes from you, that wants to get us, you know, to stand up as soldiers of Haiti. And I think we might have our brother coming to join us again soon. Put your put your camera on, please. Yeah, I felt the power and the energy coming off of you, Doctor. You know,
before I leave, what each African must become is a citizen soldier that reject all type of compromise with the Red Dogs. That's my conclusion.
Yes, family,
you
heard it. No compromising with the Red Dogs whatsoever. Powerful contribution there, and I hope everyone felt the energy as I did about our role now of becoming, you know, citizen soldiers, economic citizen soldiers,
economic,
political soldiers, political citizen soldiers. And also we need to have a military stance as well, because we need to stand against the infiltration of guns.
Absolutely.
That is fueling the gangs and the horrors and atrocities on our streets. Let me let you go, beloved. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday to get some more energy from you.
Okay.
So let's just remove our guest there from the spotlight, and let's wait for our brother Kapile to come back. Hopefully he will be able to come back and join us quite soon. So brother Kapile.
Yes, my sister, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. You know what? It might be better if you try and communicate with us without your video, because sometimes when I think it's the wattage, or when the power is low, when you use the video, it takes up too much of the energy. So what is the message that you want to put out there to our people, my brother?
Yeah, and I think the message that I want to put there to our people all over the world, Africans who are in the diaspora, Congo needs their support, they need their solidarity, because I've been listening to our brother from ID. There's similarities there, and those similarities are based on exploitation, oppression of our people. DRC, we are going through the similar type of problems that our brother was narrating. Just to keep the story short, since 1996 up until today, the eastern part of DRC, you know, has suffered a lot. People are living there. They've been subjected to high socioeconomic conditions of extreme poverty, unemployment, insecurity, you know, and all kinds of suffering that one, could think of. And the problem that we are facing, as I said earlier on in my introduction, so what is happening in DRC, this is a war that is sponsored by multinational cooperation. So this eastern part of DRC is endowed with natural resources, and some or many of these resources are needed in auto industry, in a military industry complex, and also in technological industry. So this war has been sponsored. So 1996, there was a plot for the country to be divided into two, the East and the West, just to be divided. But through the effort of Laurent Kabila and the deals that he made with these multinational corporations, he was able just to keep the country, as one. So, but 2 years later, when he realized that I was dealing with people who are not here to assist us to develop this country, who are here not to assist us to stabilize and to ensure that the economy of this country benefits everyone. So he decided now to look toward the East. And that was, the end of him when the same neighboring countries that supported him to take over the power in 1996, they pledged allegiance to, the rebel that wanted to host him out of power. So up until 1999, then there was this Lusaka Accord where, facilitated the deployment of United Nations peacekeeping force in DRC. The mission was very clear. It was to ensure that foreign troops, they withdraw from DRC, they ensure that they dismantle or neutralize all rebel movement that was sponsored by foreign-based, companies, as well as regional, leaders who had interest in the minerals of Congo in that part of DRC. So when you look at what is happening now, instead of this force, keeping force, to maintain stability, to bring peace, it has facilitated, a lot of things. So now we can see there is a proliferation of rebel movement, because as we speak now, it is said that in eastern part of Congo, we do have plus minus 200 and something, a rebel movement. And this rebels movement, impunity, they use, sex or rape, or rather, as a weapon of war. So women, they get raped, they get massacred, they create terror so that people, they can leave those areas, so that these companies, they can come in and start to exploit those natural resources. So now people have realized that, this force, so-called the UN keeping force, it's not helping them. So people now, they are starting now to say that, no, these soldiers must leave, because instead of becoming part of the solution, now they become part of the problem that people are facing in the eastern part of DRC. So recently, we had plus minus 200 people who were killed in the town of Goma. So these people are the patriots, who were marching to the headquarters of this UN peacekeeping force to demand their departure, because they don't see, the importance of that force, to remain in the country, because instead of helping people, it creates a lot of problems. So, but these people were massacred, and then it was through our own army that was deployed, just to go and disperse those people. And in the process, people got killed, by gunshot. So this is the situation that we are facing in DRC. And we have realized that by ourselves, there is nothing that we can do. So history here is repeating itself. As I said earlier on, during the King Leopold II, the impunity, the massacre that took place by that time. It took only one journalist from England who exposed those atrocities to the entire world. And then the world rallied behind DRC. They exerted a lot of pressure. And then King Leopold II was forced to hand over Congo to Belgium. So we believe that because Congo is highly, highly contested, because it has got strategic minerals, that many of Western economies, they need. So for the country to be independent politically and economically, it's not gonna be an easy walk in the park. So people, they need to stand up. People, they need to be conscientized so that we can have a united front that will confront the monster, these multinational corporations that are sponsoring various rebel movements, including our own politicians who are sitting there pretending as if they are there for the people, but they are there to advance the agenda of these multinational corporations. So for us, and this is the reason why the movement where I'm serving, was established to say that no, the problems that we are facing in DRC, there is no end in sight that shows sooner or later this particular problem is going to end. Why we came up with this is because we went through our history and we realized that in order for us to come out of the crisis that we are facing, be it tribalism, be it regionalism, be it hatred and so forth and so on, we need to build a new political class, a new leadership, a capable, visionary and ethical leadership that will be able to organize the society, that will be able to lead them to a struggle that will bring about political, economical and social change that people, they want to see. So this is the reason why we have CRM. The CRM itself would stand for Congolese Renaissance Movement. We are only interested in the word Renaissance because we need a new man. We need a Congolese who are born again in the struggle, because the fear that these forces have created in us, it has created this mentality that when we talk about DRC to Congolese who are in diaspora, these people, they say that no, there is nothing we can do. But our generation, we believe that there is something that we can do. And this is the reason why we decided to start the CRM. We believe that if we build organizational power, if we build a strong, a united CRM, it will be able to give us what we call a mass power. Because this mass power, it won't come if we are not organized, if our organization is not powerful. And once we have this mass power, it automatically gives us what we call a political power. And this political power will give us a state power where one day CRM will take over the state power. And once we have a state power, then we will be able now to have economic power. So this is the process. We don't want to jump the stage. So this is the reason why a CRM is hoping for this move, for this event that will take place on the 28th of October 2023. We want our African brothers in diaspora, wherever they are, to support this new movement, because in order for us to achieve all this, we'll need financial, physical, spiritual, material support, because currently we are busy training leaders. To train these leaders, you'll need money to bring in facilitators. You'll need money, to print these materials. You'll need money to organize a venue where people meet. You'll need money at least to buy water, juice, so that next time when we organize such event, people will come. And also we need the support from our brothers, because we cannot just keep quiet whenever our women get raped in the eastern part of Congo. We host seminars, we host marches, we go out and what, all these things, they will need financial support. So our this event, CRM is not there only for financial support. We also want to be connected to other progressive organizations all over the world that can assist us in terms of capacity building, leadership training, governance, policy development, and so forth and so forth and so on. So this is the reason why we see this upcoming event to be very, very important for us, because we do not want our organization to be supported by the same forces that are destroying our country. Because with the beautiful, good ideas that we have, so once we get support from the same people, our ideology, our struggle will be diluted, and then there will be no difference between us and those who are there. So this is the reason why we are building this movement. We are financing it from our own pocket, and this fundraising, it will assist us to have extra cash that will help us, to continue with the programs that we are having, so that we can reach millions of Congolese who are inside and outside, as well as other African brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora, to amplify the struggles of the Congolese people. Because when you look what is happening in DRC, the mainstream media that is controlled by, the same people that we are talking here, when it comes to DRC, they don't, give the content, they don't give the correct information. They don't document the struggles, the rapes, the massacre, that people are going through in the eastern part of DRC. People in the world, they only know that in Congo there is war, there is what, but they don't know the cell phones that they are using. Whatever is used to manufacture that cell phone is coming from DRC. The computers that we have, all these technological devices, those precious metals that are making our people to go through the atrocities that they are going through today. They make these companies to manufacture all these technological, devices. So this is the kind of awareness that we want, people to know out there, because to get a platform from this mainstream media to speak about what I'm speaking, they cannot give us a space, because as I said earlier on, Congo is highly, highly contested, and it's contested by the superpowers. They want to capture the heart of DRC. So if something is not done, then it will be a disaster for the next generation. Even Amit Cabral, he taught us that each generation has got its own mission. It either we betray it or we fulfill it. So our own mission is to liberate our people from the shackles of neocolonialism, to liberate our people from the shackles of imperialism in DRC, to ensure that, our minerals, which belongs to our people, are used to develop them in terms of education, in terms of free health and equitable, healthcare, infrastructure development such as road, railway, port, and harbor, to ensure that our people, they live a productive and dignified life. So this is the struggle that we are in. So our diagnosis, why we put more emphasis on the building capable leadership, it's because since the departure of Patrice Lumumba, Congo has never produced other leaders who are able, to challenge, the status quo, to challenge, the imperialist forces in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So we have leaders who politically, they don't have much, people, they descend on power. People are deployed in various institutions of the state without knowledge to run those institutions. They go there, they want to collect, they want to make money, and then they don't care about any other person. So the same thing, if I remember in the morning, one of our brothers, he asked a question, how can we deal with the issue of tribalism? I think Comrade Alex was clear. Tribalism it's destroying our country. That is the reality. And then why there is that tribalism? It's simply because the political leadership, the political actors that we have in DRC, they capitalize, they use tribalism, in order to drive their own agenda. So that is always say, if you got a correct leadership, a visionary leadership, that will be able to unite the people, that will be able to develop a legislative framework that will punish anybody that will try to use a tribalism as a tool to ascend on power, whatever, and so forth. And also the other various, programs that one can come up with, art and culture can be used for social cohesion. So all these things that I'm saying, they are centered around a capable and a visionary leadership that has the interest of people at the heart. And that this is what CRM, yeah. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brother Kapile. We are 10 minutes over time, but I gave you the time because, you struggled so much to come through. You didn't get the opportunity to actually address the audience in the earlier part. So I gave you that time. And thank you, everybody, for hanging on in there over time. And I've just put up the flyer as well so that, you can see what's going to be happening, some of what's going to be happening on Saturday, the 28th of October. I'm going to put up the other flyer as well. But as you can see, we're making the connections with our brothers and sisters on the ground in Haiti and in the DRC Congo. The problems have been outlined very, very similar indeed. We've got the United Nations in both countries, and these are forces, external forces that are supposed to be bringing peace in those countries. But, what our brother was saying, that in the DRC, there are now 200 gangs, armed gangs. So the situation has got so much worse. And then when the people come together to protest, they mow them down, murdered 200 of their own people, massacred 200 of their own people, while the press, was almost silent about it. Let me stop share and bring up the other let's see. I didn't realize that I wasn't on Spotlight. Apologies for that, family. Let's bring up the other flyer as well, because we've got so many guests who are going to be coming and supporting the event on the 28th. So many people who feel that, we need to do so much more. We've got our sister, Martha Desalumi, who represents Haiti at a very high political level, at a CARICOM level. She talks about the importance of supporting Haiti and is trying to get the support of our other Caribbean countries behind Haiti as well. We've got Jean Eloise as well from Haiti. We've got our Queen, Baina Bello as well. Dr. Kenny, you've just heard a little bit from him. We've got Teacher D, we've got Keparu, we've got our brother Glenroy Watson. The early bird tickets are $5, family. It's not going to break the bank, but as you can hear from our speakers, it's a show of solidarity to our people, and it will help to give them the strength that they need to fight, because my gosh, what a fight they have on their hands. And so, we've got to be there to support them in any way that we can. And so, family, I just want to thank you all so much for your participation in the chat. We're reading some of your comments. Okay, I hear you about the word black. We're going to have a session on black itself, aren't we? Because I hear that. First and foremost, I'm an African, but I don't have a problem, to be honest, with the word black. And the word black is what the nigger were. The N-word. I'm going to have to do something on the N-word as well, because did you know in ancient time that that N-word that's despised now was actually mean that was used to say that these were the people of God, God's chosen people, the Nagars, with the N, or the Nagar or Nigers with the I-N-I-G-A, the Nigers. It's been so corrupted, that word, but I'm going to bring you the works of someone who's done some research into that, and you're going to have to hear it for yourself, okay? Because, wow, it's deep. I haven't even bought it here because it is just it just goes against everything that we have kind of conditioned our mind now in the way that we think. So my beloved brother, Brother Kapile, thank you so much for joining us. Sincere apologies that, you know, the camera didn't work for you. But thank you for joining us. And to everyone in the chat, let me go over to the chat and see what's going on there. Are you still with us here? Or have you tired and and left us? Hopefully not, and you're still with us. I want to thank our brother who was here earlier in the earlier part of the show, Brother Mitri. Oh my gosh, he delivered a phenomenal presentation. If you missed it, please do watch it. It is deep. Everyone will say it is deep, but you know, this is where we've got to go. We've got to dig deep inside of ourselves and bring out that greatness inside of us, that resilience inside of us. We've got to bring it out. He was telling us there is a well of information full up inside of us, and you know, he's there ready to start drawing it out. So I'm going to be talking some more with the brother, and he's going to be speaking more with you, family, and we need to try and tap into the greatness inside of us so that we have the power and the foresight to do what needs to be done. Rooney is saying black is beautiful. I rock with it. I love black. I don't have a problem with black at all, to be honest. I love it. I hear the arguments about, you know, not using it to define ourselves and the importance of the word to the description of Africans. I love being an African as well. I wouldn't want to be any other race other than an African. I love being African. Wow, Elena has said she's got her ticket. Thank you so much for getting your ticket. Has anyone else clicked online and got their ticket? If you have, let me know. Sister Afrijamo, you're going to be joining us on Saturday. You know we love to have you in the house. Brother Kwame Bojo, Sangobob. Oh, I've not come across you before. Welcome. He said, yes, Goma is in the eastern part of DRC Congo, and that's where they mowed down 200 of our freedom fighters. But you know what, family? If we manage to free ourselves from the transatlantic enslavement conditions that we were on the plantations, we have got inside of us what it takes and what it needs to bring out of us in order to free ourselves again. And, you know, our people will free themselves again. They will find, you know, the strength and the energy that's needed inside of them in order to bring about the freedom that we all want them to have. So quickly going over to the chat, we've just see what I can pull out of the chat before I must dash off now and let you all go. Rise up to everybody who's got their ticket. Thank you so much. Hang on, here we go. So Rooney said that I'm going to buy mine as well. Thank you so much. We've got great artists, great entertainers, great speakers, all coming together for the same cause. So Rooney's going to be rocking with us. I need you to rock with us on the day as well. Brother Icon Bay, we confuse ourselves every day. Why can't we be Africans? We are Africans. We are Africans. But you know what? We're greater than Africans. We're more than Africans. You know, we're the universe itself. We're the energy of the universe. You know, soon the future will be saying, stop calling ourselves African, call ourselves energy, because we own the entire globe. We were the first people of the world. We are the original people of the world. Why limit ourselves to the continent of Africa when at one time the whole world of Africa, and we owned the world. We had Africans who were the rulers of Europe, of Canada, of America, of Australia. We were as Africans, as melanated people, we control the world. I asked you a question earlier. To those of you who missed the question, you know, for those of you who were on my show this morning, you know the answer, not you. How old are we as Africans? If there's one thing we ought to all know and all ought to be in agreement with, is the knowledge of how old are we. So tell me, family, how old are we as Africans? Did you get the answer? What was your answer to that question? I know there's some of you who said that we are thousands of years old, but how old are you? There was someone who said that we are as old as the planet. I thought that was a really good answer. How old are we, family, as Africans? I need you to tell me. In the meantime, when you're getting your answer together, let me see some of the other comments in the chat. Right, it should be African Caribbean History Month, not Black. Okay, yeah, African History Month is good. Elena Morgan, everyone else has where they are from in their origin in the name. Chinese from China, Asian from Asia, India from India, Irish from Ireland, Scottish from Scotland. Yeah, because they needed to claim it. We were everywhere. We at one time, we ruled, and we are the original people of the entire globe. We owned everywhere. But these new species that came among us, you know, to claim the land, you know, they said, okay, we're calling ourselves Chinese, and this part of the land is China, and this part of the land is Asia for us as Asians, and this part of the land is Europe for us as Europeans. But, you know, as Africans, the whole world was Africa at one time. I'm being controversial here now, aren't I? But, you know, it is the truth. Rise up, family. So how old are we? How old are we? Jay says millions of years. Really? How many millions of years are we? How old are we? Kwesi says us, US, are trying that UGSB, I don't know what that word is, and Rwanda mercenaries are involved in the war in Eastern Congo. So yeah, the US are trying to get Uganda, the Rwandan mercenaries involved in the war in Eastern Congo. Yes, they are indeed. Kwame says, Africans, yes, we rule the whole planet. We did indeed. The whole planet belongs to us. And then the ice cap melted, and these this new species came out of the Caucasus Mountains, and they have caused havoc on the world ever since. Oh my days, what a catastrophe. What a trial and tribulation all of us are facing now and experiencing as a result of this species that came running out of the caves when the ice cap melted. Okay, well, how old are we as a people? Well, I know that some of you may remember the article that went around some time ago that was exposing the fact that NASA had actually found a spaceship supposedly on the moon. So I know some of us think they've never been to the moon, and they may not have never been to the moon, but they've got this spaceship that they found. And they dated the spaceship at 1.5 billion years old. 1.5 billion years old. And when they went into the spacecraft, hey, they found the body intact of an African woman who was lying almost like in state, and very similar to the way that you would lie out a pharaoh, and she had locks. And that spacecraft was dated at 1.5 billion years old. Some of you might say, but, you know, how can we have traveled to space 1.5 billion years ago? What evidence is there of this? Well, if you have a look at the Temple of Seti's and the inscriptions on the Temple of Seti, you will see in there that there is a panel that is very popularly spoken about, but not necessarily in our circles, that actually depicts flying airplanes, flying spaceships, submarines, all kinds of moving crafts are inscribed into the hieroglyphics, and images of them are there, which suggests that our ancestors thousands of years ago had already invented helicopters, submarines, and forms of flying machines. And don't say that's not possible, because we have great creators and inventors among us today. who are creating helicopters and flying machines that don't even need fuel to fly. So, you know, that knowledge is still in our DNA. But how old does that make us? Well, archaeologists are discovering today structures, the foundations of structures, which they have dated at 476,000 years old. But does that mean that we're only 476,000 years old when there is, for example, you know, evidence of an African female lying in an aircraft dated at 1.5 billion? What we also know is that there was a metal vase that was actually found, and it was like cemented into layers of rocks. And what the archaeologists or the geologists do, they're able to determine the age of the rocks because they know how many thousands of years it takes for layers of rocks to actually form. And this vase that had been created by a human as well was dated at 550 to 650 million years old. So our people were actually making vases, not too dissimilar to the vases that we make in Africa today, you know, the pottery vases, but this one was shaped very similar to that as well. I'll have to find out what the metal was that we were using. 650 million years ago. Family, all of this hidden information is out there if you know where to look. But what the archaeologists and anthropologists and the historians, etc., of the European world have done is they have been hiding the truth, and they've been collapsing time. They've been collapsing time so that we don't know how old we really are. But just imagine if today, you know, everybody in the world, they woke up without their parents and we were children growing up. We wouldn't know, you know, how to maybe configure the internet, to make televisions, to get the televisions to work and everything else. We just wouldn't have that knowledge because we've been cut off from the root. And that's what has happened to us as a people. We have been cut off from that root of knowledge, the knowledge of who we are, the knowledge of who our ancestors are, the knowledge of our former greatness. And I know it's too much for some of you to believe because the archaeologists, anthropologists, historians, the academia world are all colluded together to make sure that we don't know who we are, that we don't know how old we are, that we don't know how great we are. What I suggest is that you do your own research, okay? Do your own research and you will find it. So not going to spoon food you here on that, Chris, okay? Go and do your research. And I know most of us, our minds have been so colonized, you know, they've colonized our thinking, they control the education that we get, they control the information that we get, they control the media. And so most of us with our colonized mind are unable to see outside of the box. But those of us who know that we are greater than, go searching and digging for the truth, and we find it. Yes, we find it indeed. And the evidence is out there. The books have been written. Some of these books are hundreds of years old. You'll have to go into the archives and dig for them and find them for yourself, okay? And if I do a special show on it, I may well post the link. But you go and have a look first, okay? Find it for yourself. All right, family, we are well over time, well over time, but hopefully, you know, it's been a show that has been very, very worthwhile. And we look forward to seeing you next Saturday, the 28th of October at our fundraiser event. Be in the place, be in the space. We've got a great lineup of artists, great lineup of speakers. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And I look forward to you joining us. Well, family, going to have to tear myself away from you now, but next strong, I will be black, all being well. But for now, Sister Shanice, out of here. Take care, stay